A video circulating on pro-Russian military blogs shows Yevgeny Prigozhin standing in a desert in camouflage with a rifle in his hand, claiming to be in Africa. In the clip, Prigozhin talks about making Russia greater on all continents. It's his first video since leading the short-lived Russian mutiny nearly 2 months ago. All right, we're getting new images that appear to show an attack on an airfield deep inside Russian territory. Take a look here. You can actually see it. A fireball, there it is, with smoke billowing high into the air on what looks like a military base runway. Moscow blames Kyiv for the weekend drone strike on the air base, which houses long-range strategic bombers. Meantime, on the battlefield in Ukraine, the southern region is coming under relentless Russian bombardment, especially along frontline villages. CNN's Nick Payton-Walsh joins us live now from Zaporizhia in Ukraine. So Zaporizhia saw significant shelling overnight. Nick, what more can you tell us?
Yeah, look, when firefighters were dealing with a huge blaze on a factory, we heard ourselves hear a drone passing overhead and there were flashes on the skyline, frankly, like there are for many Ukrainian cities every night. And it's important to remind people that even if the numbers shock you, it is still part of the daily experience of civilians in this country. We've been speaking particularly to one firefighter in a town called Orikhiv, which is very much in the path of the current counter-offensive, a place that has been heavily destroyed by Russian intense airstrikes over the past month or so. And that firefighter, Dima, that we spoke to, has not only experienced loss on the front lines, dealing with horror in his job, but also in his personal world as well. And that replicates the experience of so many Ukrainians. Here's what he had to say.
The aftermath is not always easier. These are the firemen of the most bombed city on earth, Orikhiv, in the throes of the counter-offensive. And this is a normal day for them. Here's the story of one we've gotten to know, Dima.
Таке впечатлення, що ми просто родилися і всю життя жили в війні. За 2 часа щось 200 прилетіло снарядів. Ми з колегами, коли в підвалі були, ми з життям прощалися.
Вигоріло, по балконам пішло. Прилетів кап.
Pain here doesn't just come from the flames. Away from the front lines, Ukraine is suffering in ways we don't see. Dima has lost nearly all his family since the war began. His wife left for Europe as a refugee just days after the war started with his son, and he doesn't know if they will ever come back. The emptiness of their family home is a crippling, constant weight on him.
Та як з ума сходю. Тишина. Убиває тишина. На роботі, мені краще на роботі, ніж тут. Я наскільки там привик, я тут, ну, скажімо так, я тут ночами не сплю, може я за сутки час можу і поспати. А на роботу приїжджаєш, тебе все одно дом є дом. Я там хоч трошки висипаюся, хоч навіть стріляють.
The gaps between the horror harder than the horror itself. And sleep, when it comes, is sometimes worse.
Останній час дуже погано сплю і практично не сплю. Ну коли засипаю, сниться сім'я, яка дуже далеко від мене. Що я приїжджаю після змін, виходжу з ліфта і стоїть моя сім'я. Чекає мене, що я приїду. Ну, приїхав, що вона повернулася, що ми ось уже з тобою. Я радий цьому бачити, що після великого часу я їх наконець-то встрітив. Почти рік не бачив сім'ю. Больна тема це.
Orikhiv has been ground to dust in the last 2 months. But Dima's grief here came immediately with last year's invasion. His father died in its first days, just before his wife left, from a heart attack. He says because of shelling. In that chaos, Dima had to bury his father himself.
Ну і в нього серце стало просто від іспуга, може, або щось в цьому роді. Або щось стрельнуло таке десь там рядом, і воно ж як стріляє, воно ж всередині все тіліпається. І в матері на руках помер батько.
Now he only has his mother left. She won't leave the house where his father died and where Dima was born, and where the flames may strike again.
У мене йде війна з мамою. Кажу, я прийде время, я приїду, я тебе просто зв'яжу і привезу сюди. Ну, тому що ти в мене одна залишилася. Тільки приходять, що загроза кабів, оріхів кап, оріхів кап, оріхів кап. Тільки оріхи, я ховайся, дзвоню, ховайся. Да, ховаюсь. А чи ховається? Ну, у мене мама, скажімо так, дуже бойова.
Nearly every Ukrainian home has holes in it, from people who won't come back and emotions forged in a war with no end in sight.
Я хочу, щоб вони в такому місті, вони такі, щоб вони всі жили після такого, що вони зробили з моїм містом. Щоб вони в таких условіях жили до кінця своєї життя, щоб їх як не було взагалі, як нації. Я не спорю, в сім'ї, може, не без урода, везде є нормальні люди, адекватні, з будь-якої сторони. Я їх буду, скільки я буду жити, я їх буду ненавидити до кінця життя.
Three of you now. And so, even though I think it's possible sometimes to perceive the war in Ukraine as a transitory event that will eventually end in some way, when you hear someone like Dima express the damage done to him, to his family, to the town where he grew up, to his father, to his mother's life going forwards, you understand the scars that are going to exist in Ukraine for decades now. And it also, I think, provides an insight if you're trying to work out exactly why Ukraine should at some point feel diplomacy is a wise, imminent option. There's a deep anger, and you can see that in the town of Orikhiv itself, that in the last 2 months has not been reduced to rubble, but is now so heavily pockmarked by extraordinarily large craters that it is unrecognisable from May.
It was a very powerful piece, Nick Payton Walsh. Thank you so much for bringing us Dima's story. We appreciate it.